Do you ever wonder what is happening to wild horses in America? The answer to that question is they are being rounded up by the government inhumanely. The goal of my presentation is to share with you the top 10 websites that I found while researching this topic. Over 2,000 horses have been taken from public lands since 1971. The Bureau of Land Management schedules roundups that capture the horses and hold them in holding pens. Many horses die during this process due to stress and other elements. The solution to this inhumane way of controlling the wild horse population is to find another humane way. Protecting America's horses is a topic of interest for me because horses have always been a part of my life. I believe in preserving America's Mustangs. There is a more humane way of maintaining the Mustang population instead of the current government's method. My presentation will feature the top 10 websites that I found information about saving the wild horse. I will mention a little bit about what I learned from each website and why I thought the site was reputable. It is my pleasure to share with you the information that I found while researching about saving the wild horses. I will happily answer any questions you have after my presentation. The first website that I found was the wildhorsepreservation.org. It was a website that contained information from the American Wild Horse Preservation, and it consisted of a lot of statistical information, and it also explained the process of how the Bureau of Land Management rounds the horses up through helicopters and other ways. Website 2 was www.hlm.gov, which stands for Bureau of Land Management. It contained a really good chart for the fall and winter removal and fertility treatment of the wild horses. And it stated how many horses needed to be removed from that area and how that process was to be done. Third website was pbs.org. This information was from a document that was premiered on PBS. The website gave some good information about the roundups. It also provided information about current wild horse sanctuaries, and it also included information about the current fertility program that is being given to mares to help keep down the population. On website 4, www.jstore.org. This site contained an abstract of an essay done by Kyle Hampson and Jeffrey Mosley. It contained information about a study that was done with random wild horses that were put into 3 different groups. The 3 groups were adopted, stimulated, and controlled. They looked at the different behaviors of the horses after they were rounded up and how these behaviors varied from group to group. Website 5, equineadvocates.org. This was an organization website, and this website contained information about wild horses and being captured and how they are being held in government facilities and how taxpayers are paying money towards this. It also compared cattle to horses and explained that cattle don't really help the ecosystem while horses do because of how they move around a lot and how just the way they eat the grass in general. Website 6 was www.blm.gov. I thought this was a reputable site because it contained a lot of statistical information about the horses. And it also contained a chart that listed the number of wild horses that are currently running free in the western states. And then it also explained how many, like, the state should only be allowed to maintain, and how, like, the chart showed that there's overpopulation, but in reality it really isn't. Seventh website was www.returningtofreedom.org. This was another organization website that takes in horses, and it gave information about the wild horse in general. And it also gave information about the 1971 Wild Free Roaming Horse and Bureau Act that was put in place to set aside 18 million acres where horses could run free. However, only 40 million of these acres consist, and most of those acres don't supply to the horses' needs. The eighth website was www.wildhorseprevention.org/wild horses and ecosystem. I put this on my top 10 list because I contained an article that explained how the wild horses affect the ecosystem positively. For example, they help with fire prevention, grass regrowth, and replanting forage. And it also explains how they help other animals in the winter by finding hidden grass under the snow that other animals wouldn't have the sense to find, and opening up water with their hooves. The ninth website was www.gao.gov. This was a PDF file that I found from the United States Government Accountability Office. The link contains information that the Bureau of Land Management needs to find another way to manage the unadoptable horses, because currently any unadopted horses that are either being euthanized or just held in pens. And it states that they need to find better ways to manage these horse population. The last website was www.wildhorseandbureau.blm.gov. On this site, written out was the Wild Free Roaming Horses and Bureau Act of 1971.